control over how you change this into that, and you can decide to play with it. Okay? So you can do what Shalab, was it Shalab? Someone here did comprehend. Hey, Vijay. He did comprehend. He's doing some crazy shit with the message. He's just trying to totally do the, politics thing there, right? Fake news. So you could say XYZ, and you could say, oh, he said ABC, right? You have no way of telling. Alright, so anyway, so you can knock yourself out. Okay, so you can do anything you want. You use comprehend. And imagine, right? So you have all these really complex services. And you could not have built them together. Each one has so much research and years of effort going into it. And then you're just able to call upon those. And I think, because being on the cusp, meaning that I've tried to do one of those, I know how hard it is. So then you realize it's totally amazing to be able to get that for free. And so I think that's basically the rule. Children, the next generation, I think I see it as they haven't felt the hardship of things that we just take for granted now in the US. And I think that I think that's maybe important, right? Because someone has to get to the stage where they can just take that for granted, so they can build on top of that. So you stand on the shoulders of giants to see further. But not by forcing the giant to put you on their shoulder, but letting the giant let you stand. Asking the giant to put you on their shoulder. I think that way. I think if you approach the flag that way, saying it's just great things that have gone on, and just to quote your reference, using all these things, right? And then you can say, the full power of the practice to you, and you have all these things you just put together, and play with. It's just basically a juggler, right? You just become a master juggler. You have all these things, and from that point on, we're just trying to entertain you. Instruments.
So after that,
Hitesh, why don't you do your demo? Okay, after you, Larry, you can start after Hitesh, and then I'll come over. I'll sit next to you, and then we'll just walk through a poly demo. Okay. Do you have Emacs? I'm thinking whether I can use mine. Yeah, okay, just actually, why don't I use? Yeah, also if you can get if you're gonna type, right? But it'll be easier for me to see.
Yeah, the audio tended to
inverted. Black and white.
Oh.
And slightly larger font.
Okay.
Thanks. Hey, switch it on, and then you gotta switch it to HDMI. Is it HDMI?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, you gotta switch it on. And then
That won't happen.
it takes a few minutes. It takes about 30 seconds to warm up. But that's okay. So what are you going to show? Because you have this fake Siri website, which looked very intriguing, I gotta tell you.
So this is so the first part of this project, before you get into the back-end AWS stuff, is so you need to have a web page that'll accept audio from from a person, and then send that off to your cloud services. So
See,
so the question is
If I tap here, everything goes dark. But if I say this is your darkness index, right there you go.
just pick a dark spot.
Right?
This is the website I have.
No, but if you oh, I see. But you got to pick a point where both they're
to use your microphone, right? Because it's not good to spy on people, right?
you can't.
So.
Hey, Hitesh, can I propose something? Is it possible to record your screen also? It's really hard for us to get the contents of the screen on that little camera. So,
How do I record the screen?
is there an app on Windows? Does anybody know? Like QuickTime that can basically record your entire screen? Hey, just open another tab. Go to Screencast-O-Matic. All right, Screencast-O-Matic. I'll be back in a second. Okay.
What browser are you using?
Firefox. It says launch free recorder. So.
Screencastmatic.com. Yeah, okay.
Yep, I'm there.
Just record your entire screen, and then launching the recorder. Okay, great. And then you can share it on YouTube, unlisted maybe, and that link will share with the online students. And then they'll get the, and then I'll set the, hey, what the lighting level so that we don't have to focus on the screen anymore. Oh, great. Okay, awesome. But still, this is. We ought to be able to control the brightness of this thing. All right, go for it. Is it still launching?
It's still launching for me.
Oh, you can talk us through the thing until it comes up. What it does and things like that.
Okay. Okay. So, so I'll just talk real quick about the. So before I show like how to set up the web page in AWS, I'll just go through the code very, very quickly. So there are two browser APIs that are used to make this happen. So the first one is get user media. So this is what actually taps into your microphone, and that's why you see that pop up when you launch the web page. I won't go into too much detail because I don't want to get because some people get lost with the technicalities. So just to keep it as high level as possible. If you want more details, you can talk to me. I can really get into it. And then the second API that's required is the media recorder API. This is what actually captures the audio into let's say an OGG file, and then you can actually take that file and then send it off to AWS. So that's the key. So those are the main JavaScript ingredients to get the recording piece to work. Okay, still just download this guy.
So we go to the other tab where you have your app running right now. I'm just curious. Wait. The tab on your left. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I see. So it's when you record. Remind me what it does again. It's going to create a graphic from my.
Yeah. So once you click allow. Oh, and by the way, so there's a checkbox here. So if you don't want to keep prompting you to allow it,
okay.
But I'm unchecking just so that
yeah.
the demo. But
oh, I didn't know that. I didn't get that for my. I was trying to do not this for transcriber.
Okay.
Right, and then it kept coming up with that message again, but there was no checkbox like you got.
What browser are you using?
Chrome.
Okay, I'm in Firefox, so that shouldn't. I mean, Chrome just don't give that option, I would think.
No, but I eventually figured out that there is a website settings or some complex nonsense somewhere, right?
Yeah.
So, but I thought it should be a lot like what you did right now. It's so simple.
Okay, so so at the top you have a little media or voice visualizer. So it's just to give feedback to the users so that you can actually see your
that's nice.
Your actual audio.
Hey, you can share this code obviously, right?
Well, I stole this code myself.
But share your version of it.
Yeah, I'll post it.
The rest of us can basically hook into, right?
I'll post it in Canvas, but
But
again, just to give you a quick code run through. So
because I'm thinking that when we do that translation thing, you can have that thing when people are talking.
Yeah. So the magic happens with the visualize function, and so it uses HTML5 canvas to render the audio visualization. Okay. All right. So and you can see a little microphone icon on the top, so that also tells you that the mic is also listening. And then so you just click the record button. And so now it's actually recording my voice. So now I click the stop button, and then pops up recording, and right below that, so just to prove that I actually recorded my audio, I'm going to play this. So now it's actually recording my voice. So then I click the stop button, I sound terrible. Anyway.
Nice.
Okay.
Nice.
And then the final step is, so you want to send data. Anyway, so right now it's not implemented. So all it does right now is you get a little pop-up box.
I see. So that's what you're aware
Yeah,
of.
but what my team will do is, so we will build a REST API for this. So all I would have to do is go back to my code. I'll get your question. I saw it. Okay. So you remember, so JavaScript is all about, it's all about event handlers, right? So when the on-click event handler fires, then here you put in your code to trigger a REST call. So client side you can use the fetch API to do that. If you're not familiar with how that works, I can show it to you. But
for, you are going to do that for your team, though, right?
yeah. So well, I have a quick example of REST of using the fetch API actually. So. Okay, that's not working. I know what then. It was working like an hour ago. Anyway, so.
Don't worry. I mean, we have the floor on set.
Yeah, so this is a good example of something of what you would do. So since we're sending an audio file to AWS, so it's going to be a post call. Right, so you see that here.
Oh, I see. So you're getting the entire MP3 and then doing the recognition.
Yeah.
In a post.
So
Okay. Yeah, I think that's okay. So that's a lot easier. That you can do. You don't need this entire library. You're right.
You mean offline?
No, he's just saying that the recognition doesn't start until the entire MP3 is gone. So it's got MP3. The other option is to just open a socket, a web socket, and have your live audio stream to the other side, and then it keeps sending back intermediate hypotheses too, right? And when it knows that you've got the full thing, it says, okay, that's final. You get incremental to your hypotheses and so on, right? It's real time. Whereas his, he captures the MP3 until the end and then sends it.
So my question earlier, when you say send to AWS, is it to the EC2 or the S3?
it's called the API gateway.
He's saying, yeah, correct me if I'm wrong, he's saying he's just going to create an endpoint. And you stick your logic there, whatever you want, right? You could basically, it's just okay, maybe it's a post call or something like that.
So
you have PHP script.
So can you please demonstrate when you send it to AWS?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do.
What's going to happen in your instance? What part of the code is actually responsible for this capture? No,
I'll post it in Canvas because right, I don't know, I had a little.
Hey, who's the JavaScript guy in your, do you guys have a JavaScript person at all?
Okay, so I'll post the code in Canvas, but I wish I could have showed it right now, but for some reason JS Fiddle.
So yeah, maybe it was got your team's thing routed out.
Yeah, I don't know what happened.
Hitesh.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. Mike, I'm sorry. Are you guys done after that? Yeah, okay. So after you've got your team's JavaScript wrapped up, if you have time, you could also help these guys with the JavaScript, all of the wiring needed. So you can probably participate in both teams' discussions.
Yep.
So you're like a shared resource.
Yep.
And then these guys are okay with JavaScript, right? You guys are okay with JavaScript? Yeah, okay. All right.
Okay, so that's just the JavaScript, but I haven't showed you like the cloudfront stuff, right? So the other important thing with recording audio is so you have to use HTTPS, it won't work if you
I
use
see.
HTTP. So I can actually prove that. So let me.
No, that's okay. Yeah. So you're saying whether it's because of the audio or not, it's worthwhile knowing how to set up SSL and how easy it's become now.
Yeah, so this is the main reason for using CloudFront and ACM is because you can't do it. So okay, so this is my this is that same website, but I'm just running it from S3 directly. And so here you get a insecure URL. So when I click it, okay, so notice that it doesn't prompt you for the audio, right? So and if you look here, can you guys read that? Yeah.
Oh, I see.
So it throws a type error, and so what that means, so if you look at MDN, get user, so if you go to MDN,
Do you have Chrome installed on your machine?
I do.
You don't?
I do.
You do?
Mm-hmm.
Can you go visit that URL on Chrome too? Is that just a regular JavaScript error, or is it very specific to that machine?
No, this is, so that's what I'm showing. So the type error. So if you go to the MDN documentation, so this is right here. So it says if you call in an insecure context. So so for example, if you use HTTP and not HTTPS.
I see.
So it's a JavaScript thing. It's not a browser issue. Okay. So
I see.
So this is why you need to do HTTPS. So to do the HTTPS bit, so first you need to have your S3 static website working, right? And you need to have a domain either on Route 53 or somewhere else. But I'm
So when you double click your index.html on your local PC, right? And that has all of the secure stuff in it. That allows sound, does it?
Yeah, it will. So if you run it on your local machine, that's considered secure.
That's considered secure?
Yeah, because the idea is you don't want unencrypted audio going over the internet, right? So, but if it's just running on your machine only, then no one can tap into it, right? It's just running on your machine, so it's considered secure.
I see.
From that perspective.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Okay. So I can actually probably set up another web page in a secure manner. So because I have because I had that star song thing from Quest 2.
Yeah. Can you show us how you did that SSL? Have you got the recording going, by the way?
No.
Yeah. Just make sure the recording goes, and then do the SSL. So you have an S3 bucket with the same name as domain and so on and so forth. Is that it? I see. Great. Because I think that that is the point at which Larry's video ends, and you pick it up from there. So we actually got this continuation going here, right? Episode 1, episode 2. That's nice. No, the SSL certificate is basically proof that you actually own the domain.
Okay. It's not okay.
So,
But if it's, why do you need that?
because,
Then what if we just, you just create a bunch of EC2 instruments or an S3?
on S3 you can't.
You can.
You can't do that on S3 unless you serve through cloudfront. S3 doesn't give you a secure one. Secure meaning it doesn't give you an HTTPS then.
Right now I understand, but then why do you need an HTTP? So if we're ready to.
Oh, because there are, suppose you're serving webcom on S3, right?
Right.
It's not, there are so many advantages of
So for
serving
example,
S3.
our star songs, we didn't need the HTTP.
No, we didn't need an HTTPS. Because otherwise the audio, first of all, the audio doesn't play, like you said. And second of all, if it's not HTTPS, many people are actually reluctant to visit it, right? And it's easier for other people to masquerade as you too, if it's not HTTPS, right?
A star song you can run that on HTTP because you're not recording, you're not calling get user media API, right? Right.
Yeah. That's
That
right.
API requires using DS.
Okay.
That
But if you're playing,
for playing audio, you don't.
playing like it, right? Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But all the same, I did because of these other reasons. Oh, thank you so much. The online students, especially Santosh, is going to be so grateful. Hey, Santosh, you can thank Hitesh, okay? If you're watching this video.
Max time is 15 minutes. Yeah, that's not good.
It's only 15 minutes max.
That's okay, you know, your demo shouldn't take much longer. And then, you know, you
No,
can
but
cut
it
it and
depends
cut
on,
it
like-
on. Yeah, you can do follow on, right? Episode 3.
Okay. Does this thing start or what?
We actually have a paid account for this guy, for this thing. I don't know what the account name is.
How do I start this thing?
Oh. Ron decided to pay for it, you know? Jane?
Go.
We have an account in this.
I'm on the clock now.
An account for.
For free, you know, not like you have this professional account that doesn't, you can record more than 15 minutes. And without that watermark.
Wait, why can't we just use Zoom?
Yeah, because then I have to log in on his machine with my account.
Okay, so first thing, so you gotta make sure you have a domain. So I'm using Rocket 3 and I happen to have these two from a few months ago before I started this class, so.
Oh, so you bought this,
I
what is
bought
that, Zip,
it.
what is that called, Zip? can't read
Zipchat.net,
Zipchat.net?
whatever was cheapest.
And that's the one you bought in class?
I bought it before I started this class, actually.
Oh, just before
I
you
was doing it
started
for some
class.
other
I
work,
see.
so.
Oh, cool.
So that's for that fake Siri
I
website.
see.
But for this demo, I'm just gonna use the other domain because so I can show these guys how the verification, all that good stuff works.
Great. Is it possible to increase the font size by any chance? I'm sorry to interrupt.
Yes, sir.
Because it'll help the online students.
And me.
Is that good?
That's much better.
More?
Is that good? Yeah. Yeah, thank you. That's
More?
great. Yeah, that's fantastic.
Okay. So yeah, so first thing, make sure that's working, and then also your S3 website is good to go. So let me just double check on that.
That's an EC2, those are EC2 instances?
No, this is just a domain. Okay, so try star song. Okay, so the website is working. Okay, so first thing is I need to get a cert for the domain. So it's like I'm using the first one, Play-Doh.link. So let me go to ACM.
So what are you trying to do? You're trying to get an SSL certificate on Play-Doh.link.
Right.
Because you already did that for ZipChat once. And
Right.
I see. Oh, thank you.
So
So
just
this,
show
is,
them-
this is another domain you have? You
Yeah.
got it from before?
Yeah.
I see. Okay.
So I just run through the whole thing, just
Yeah.
but using star song. So.
Yeah. Nice.
Okay. So request a cert, request public certificate. So that's what you want, especially when you have a cloud service, because you want anyone on the planet to be able to use it. So
Right.
so you want a public cert. Okay, so domain names. I'm just gonna do starsong.playdoh.link. So I'm just gonna do that. I mean, you can do like wildcard cert stuff like that. So you can do like star.that, but I'm just keeping it simple. Simple is good. Next. Okay, so validation methods. So there are two ways: DNS and email. So I would do DNS, it's a hell of a lot easier. So if you want to know what happens at the back end, so it'll put a CNAME record on your DNS provider to verify that you actually own that domain. And then because it's Route 53, it's mostly automated. But if you had, let's say, GoDaddy, then there's like an extra step to do, and that's in the doc that I posted.
Oh, it's all automated here.
Yeah.
Hey, can we then open another tab with Route 53, the records?
Yeah,
and then
it's
after
there.
just
It's the first tab.
No. I'm saying if we open another tab and look at all the records we have, and then after you do the
So.
okay, so those are the ones, right? So yeah, let's go through the process now, and hopefully we should get one more.
Yeah, actually, let me delete some of these because it's a little confusing. So I'm just gonna delete these 3, these 4. Okay, so right now there's just 2 records there.
What are the 2 records? Can I see NS and
So NS is name server, so that's that just basically so in the DNS world there are DNS servers that will point to your specific domain. So these are those servers. I'm not entirely sure what an SOA record is, but these are the 2 required records for any domain. Yeah, I'm not super knowledgeable about DNS, so I'm just kind of going with the flow. All right, so let's go back to cert manager. So DNS validation, review, start something link, confirm a request. All right, see, so it's going to create a CNAME record in DNS, which is going to be Route 53. You expand this guy, and then you create record in Route 53. So it'll create this record right here. Okay. This record is your hosted zone. So let me go back to Route 53. Let me.
Or maybe refresh the whole thing, refresh the page. Is that the only way to refresh this list?
No, there's some, because the screen's maximized, so I can't really see the.
Oh, there it is.
So yeah, this is the CNAME record that was just created by ACM.
what's the
So it's just an alias to a domain. So for example,
It proves that you own the domain. So it's going to try and create something on the domain using credentials that you supply. And then if it succeeds in doing that, then it proves that you own the domain, right? So it says, okay, now I know that you own the domain, I can give you a certificate.
Yep. Okay. So it should. Soon enough. Okay. So I got my cert already issued. So that was pretty quick. All right. So now I have my cert. So now the next step is to create a CloudFront distribution. So CloudFront is it's a CDN. So CDN is just a content delivery network. So it's just so all it means is you have like a lot of web servers in different locations across the globe. And the idea is to have so if Star Songs was like going global, so if you have a user in Japan that's actually a website, but your web server is in the US, there's going to be a lot of latency. So ideally, you want to have a web server that's closer to a user in Japan. So what CloudFront will do is it'll cache your web page onto what's called the edge server. And so if I'm in Japan, so it's going to actually serve the web page from a server in Japan as opposed to the US. So you get better user experience, stuff like that. So that's what CloudFront is.
Is it cheaper to send data out of CloudFront than it is from S3? I thought it was cheaper, like, I may be wrong. It's like,
no, but the thing is, so to get HTTPS, you have to use CloudFront.
To get to the edge, you need to be on CloudFront, right? But data out from your CloudFront, is it cheaper than data out directly from S3?
I have no idea.
I thought it was cheaper. That might be an interesting exercise. Maybe it's a final exam question, right? But I think it's like 5 cents per terabyte or something like that. This is 85 cents and that's 90 cents per terabyte.
I don't know. I have to check the pricing.
Yeah. But it's incredibly cheap. Either way. So you set up a CloudFront distribution for this?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh.
Well, to be clear, if you want to use custom domains, then you need to use CloudFront. You can actually, it's a kind of a little bit of a hack, but if you you can get a HTTPS website from S3 itself. So if you go into click on the object itself.
Oh, I didn't know that. So
Yeah.
you can make an individual file like that, secure access?
Yeah. So that you get for free.
Oh, so how do you do that?
Just click on the index.html object,
Uh-huh.
and then scroll down to the bottom, find the URL. So you'll get an HTTPS link for free.
Oh.
So I mean, bare minimum just use this. But if you want to use your own domain, like starsongs. Whatever, Play-Doh.link or whatever, then you have to use CloudFront in that case.
I see. Oh, I totally missed that. I didn't know that. Oh, by the way. Yeah. Watch the times.
Okay.
You got 6 minutes.
We're good. So this is the cheap and easy way of doing it. That is the more fancy,
I see.
Wow,
Cheap and easy way, but I had no idea. Well, of course, I mean, it's cheap and easy, but you can still CNAME it, right? You can CNAME your own domain to that.
So I'll get, so that's the last step.
Oh, I see. No, I'm saying even to the cheap and easy one. You have the S3 bucket.
Yeah, that's true. You're right.
Is that possible?
Yeah.
So, but then, the only reason to do the CloudFront is like exactly what you said, is that in Japan and these corners of the world,
Yeah.
you get edges that are closer to them.
Yeah. So the question was,
yeah.
so if I go back to S3, so I get a secure web page like for free, right, from AWS, but it's a kind of a ugly name, right? So what we can probably do is we can create an alias for this record so it's more user friendly. So let me try that. So create record set.
CloudFront.
So I could just do
Access to CDN, access to content.
my song.
Yeah, so we have a S3 bucket, it's just data in front of you, and you can say, here's access to it, everybody can get stuff directly on the bucket. But your bucket is stored in a particular region, in a particular so from out of the region, people who access it, there's latency issues and all those things associated with CDN.
This is gonna be the
Yeah,
option.
CDN, so like a CDN.
I'll have to figure that out. Let me just get back to the main name. So
It's called a CloudFront distribution.
okay, so I've got ACM working. So now I'm gonna go to CloudFront.
Yeah, so John put the name on this thing, CDN, right?
Yeah.
It's basically our CDN.
It's a CDN.
Yeah. It's a content distribution network.
All right, so it says CloudFront. So create a new distribution. So you want the top one, a web. You want web content. Get started. The origin name is your bucket. So I am using this one. Yeah, when I went to Route 53, I couldn't find my S3 bucket for some reason when I tried to make a CNAME record. So I'll have to figure that out later on. So just for now, I'll just run through this.
Did you click the button for alias?
Yes.
You did.
Yeah, so
And then
the drop down.
Come with a drop down.
Nothing came there, so.
You made sure it's in the same region.
Everything is in the East Coast. So,
Wow. Yeah.
okay.
Okay. Yeah, I think that happened to me too. I don't know. I don't know how I fixed that.
So you put the bucket name, it'll automatically populate the origin ID. Then, okay, protocol policy. So I would just select the second one because we always wanted to be HTTPS. So the reason I did the second one is if you just type a URL into a web browser, it'll default HTTP. So with this option, it'll redirect it to the secure website.
Will that work for everyone? If you redirect it that way?
Yeah, so that's what I did when went to siri.zipchat.net, so it redirected me to the secure website.
So no matter who the user is, no issue.
Right, right, for all users. Okay, so a couple things to fill out here. So you want to put the alternate domain name. I think I said, star song Play-Doh link. And then to use your custom certificate, you select this radio option. And okay, it's not showing the other one just yet. Why did I see it? Certificate manager.
Refresh the page maybe, or star song, that's the first one, right?
Yeah.
It's issued.
Yeah, I had this issue before.
Did it say active or did you go back to that thing there? Oh, it's not in use, okay. And what is it not eligible for?
Renewal.
Oh, yeah,
So that's fine.
Refresh maybe now it's come in, so, is it okay to refresh the page?
Yeah. Yeah, so first time I did this, it took a little bit of time for it to come in that drop down menu.
Now you got it?
Go restart the recording.
Is it still recording?
No, it's not.
Oh, I'm done.
Oh, okay. Now just save it and restart a new one. And then, worry about posting it later. Okay, all right. Well, that would take like 15 seconds, maybe a minute. So you were getting the Star Songs certificate,
Right.
and then getting that to be SSL, and then you've already installed it, right? Oh, so you're doing that on the Play-Doh site.
Right.
So and you got starsongs.play-doh.link?
Right.
That's what you're gonna do.
Right.
But I see. Okay, got it. But what was the other site you had, which was also Star Songs?
No, that was fake Siri. That was siri.zipchat.net.
Oh, Siri.
Yeah.
Wait, so why, because I saw it said CloudFront, you get a certificate through CloudFront, so why should we do it through ACM and not CloudFront?
That's if you're using, so this is because I'm using a custom domain name, right? So CloudFront has something like, so its domain is cloudfront.net. So you can have a cloudfront.net URL. So in that case, you can use CloudFront's cert.
Oh, so that's why you have to do custom SSL.
Right, because I'm using my own, because I'm using Play-Doh.link.
Alright, I see.
So this is the most complicated setup because that's how I play.
There's a lot here.
There's an easy way.
But unfortunately, it's a one-time thing.
Yeah. 60%.
So
when I got to the last
two?
What's that?
Your computer battery is down too?
No, I got a second. So the last step actually is, Jenny, is for me to, I need to CNAME some friendly, FQDN to that CloudFront URL. So, teaser trailer.
I thought you weren't using the CloudFront.net.
I'm not, but you still have to. But you need to point your domain to your CDN, right? So the CDN will always have a cloudfront.net URL. So you can either access the web page using the cloudfront.net URL, or if you want to use your own domain name, then that's where all this custom stuff comes in. Hopefully it'll make sense when I get through it. Okay, I'm going to start recording.
Switches. Just want to make sure that blowing out the room as much as possible. So I was wondering where the light switches were. There you go. That's much better. Is that better or worse?
I think it's a little better.
Light switches
You should
are
turn
lower.
on, you should turn on where the screen is, so it's brighter.
Sorry?
Yeah.
The other is soft.
Oh, because of the projection now. I see. Yeah. Okay. Let me see which one to turn on. Is that better? Okay. So is the lighting okay? Well, it doesn't matter because he's capturing the screen separately.
I think it's
Starting part 2 just a bit.
Okay, it's ready to go.
Okay, so it's ready to go.
Actually, this is cool because we have this,
Okay, so
Okay.
I was trying to see, okay, let me see if my CloudFront is ready. I'm good. Ah, still not there. Okay, that's fine. I mean, I have a working setup right now, so I'll just show you.
It's not showing up, it's still not showing up?
Yeah, it's a little slow. I'm gonna try one last time to get lucky.
You know, you try logging out of Amazon and logging back in. You know, maybe that'll flush your user
Okay,
state.
that's fine. I mean, I have it working. Oh, sure. Okay, back to CloudFront. This is the one I set up before. So, okay, so if you see here, so when you create a CloudFront distribution, you'll get a URL like this. Okay. So I could use that to go to my web page. So let me copy and paste that here. Okay. So I can do that. So in which case, no need for the custom cert. Okay. But because
And it shows the lock.
right, but because I'm trying to be all fancy schmancy. So if you're using your own custom domain, then there's one more step, which is you go in here, go back to posted zones. So I have, so this is what's called an alias record. So alias is kind of like CNAME. But there's a couple of differences. So with CNAME, the client has to translate the URL to an IP address. If you use alias, then the backend will do the translation for you and send the IP address. But the other thing is, alias lookups are free on AWS. So why the heck not, right? So the final step is to point my URL to the CloudFront distribution, Siri.zipchat.net to that, and that's it. And you have a custom domain on a CDN, so you can reach out to the world securely.
Great.
That's it. Easy peasy, right? Yeah, if you have any questions, reach out to me. This took me a while to figure out, but.
I mean, you may have to do this for, other teams also.
Yeah. So yeah, I just
Like,
found out.
other people.
Yeah, you
do
can
it.
write some notes about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can post this video.
Yeah, yes.
So there's so I followed a blog on medium.com.
Okay.
So I'll post a link again in Canvas.
Yeah.
So in that doc, it's using GoDaddy for DNS
Okay.
instead of Rockly 3. So that's the only difference. Otherwise, it's pretty much the same. So I'll put it up there.
So how do we do the video? Hey Larry, shall I add Hitesh also as a manager so he can just upload it directly, or do you want him to send the video to you, or how does it work? Well, so if I mean, you can
upload it if he wants.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And then you can upload the video YouTube to our YouTube channel. I mean, Larry will show you how.
Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty easy.
Okay.
Great, thank you. Thank you so much. All right, so now I thought for a part 2. Thank you, Hitesh. So I'm thinking now we'll just do a little app in Poly and has an HTML page. I'll show you how simple it is, right? You just get Poly going programmatically from JavaScript. You know, HTML page. So I'll show you. All right, let's go. Connect up your laptop and start the recording. And then we'll do one end. And then we'll also try and do translation. We'll do translation as well as Poly. And then after that, oh, we actually have time. We need to transcribe for the rest of the day. Yeah? Good? Okay. All right. Because Poly and translate are pretty easy. You got the right connector?
You want us to do the trailer, or do you want us to
Hey, Pani, do you have this connector from this kind of, the new kind of Mac to the screen?
To HDMI?
Yeah, something like that. I mean, Larry's got the new Mac. Yeah, see, he's got that too. So here's what we're going to do. We'll just build an HTML page. You know, it's a standard an HTML app, and have a text field in there, and you go and type stuff in, and then choose a language, and just speak that speak it in that language. Right? Obviously, you can't type in English and ask it to speak in German. We'll just do English now, right? We'll just do type something in, and it'll speak back to us, and we'll see how natural sounding it is, not like the robotic thing. And because that's one of the pieces. Once you have that going, then what we'll do is we'll try and do translate. Then you'll type something in, it'll translate it and speak it back in a different language. We can get both of those going today, very quickly. Is everybody okay with that plan? Mike, are you good with that plan? Yeah, we do Poly today? Yeah. Okay. And by the way, you know, we don't have to do any of this because, as you know, like I said in the syllabus, so I don't know what I'm doing here because am I allowed to teach you this thing, or because there is a sequence in which Foothill desires. Now we've spent a lot of energy, right? Even Amazon, they've spent a lot of energy trying to figure out this is the right way sequence in which things should be delivered to students for maximal benefit. And then I just come in and do things out of order, it messes the whole thing up. So you got to tell me if it's counterproductive. Because you just need to be doing things incrementally, right? So, and by the way, because this is all not part of the syllabus, it's extra credit, I'm not liable for any of the things I say or do here, right? So I just show you what I know. Some of it is right, some of it is wrong, so you just figure it out. Okay, all right. Okay, so let's not do the translate. So maximize the window. Let's make sure that everybody can read it. I'll actually read the screen if you don't mind. This is easier for me. Yeah. Okay. All right. Forget about it. So go to Google and type in AWS Poly static homepage, static web page example, or something like that. Right. So basically, we're looking for an example implementation using Poly in a standard HTML page instead of fancy socket and things like that. So has someone done something like that? So we just hello world. So that's what he searched for. No, not that. See, that's the problem. Sometimes we click on the first link and then we get lost in a quagmire, right? So the trick is the right keywords. AWS Poly static web page. Yeah, web page. Yeah, static web page. Google helps us by autocomplete.
Yeah,
is that your history?
That's what it is, yeah.
Oh, it was your history, not the most common search. Okay, all right, let's go. There you go, poly.html. Can't be better than that, right? Poly.html, and it's from Amazon. Okay, so all we're going to do is just create an index.html on your local machine, right? Go to your desktop. Go to your desktop. You can go open a terminal. Boy, okay, this font is going to be very hard for me to follow. Okay, is it possible to Control plus here, Command plus a couple of times? More. Can you guys read it? Yeah, you good? Okay. All right. Now, Yeah, the window. Is this good? Okay. Yeah, Control L to get to the top. Control L. Oh, your screen is so big now. So you're down here. You need to make it vertically fit. How do you make it vertically fit? Okay. Okay, yeah, that's better. Just do full screen, click full screen. You don't care how big it is, just fit it. Just hit the green button for now. Okay, alright, so CD to your desktop, tilde/desktop, yeah. Alright, now, do you have a whole bunch of stuff on your desktop? Are you okay with MS-N? You got a whole bunch of stuff there? Alright, so just make your poly, yeah, CD to poly,
Who doesn't have a desktop?
ls-la, okay, so you got an empty directory here, and we'll create an index.html there, and then in the end we can just delete the directory or do what you want, okay? So, alright, now go to your Amazon window, command, four-finger, go to the other desktop where you have that Amazon window. Yeah, okay. Alright, copy this entire thing. Do they have a copy icon there somewhere? Yeah, there it is. Yeah, copy that. Okay. Now go to your terminal. Where's that? Command tab until you get to the terminal. Yeah, okay. Alright. So you do, it's okay. You have a chance to edit the thing until, yeah. But you have a chance to edit the video and restrict it to just the, commands.
What do you want to profile?
No, just do cat greater than. That's easier because you don't want to edit it. You just want to put the thing into a file. Cat greater than index.html. Just call it index.html. Yeah, and then command V to paste it. Okay, and then command D to enter. Right, now, command D. Oh, did you get command? Oh, no, control D, I'm sorry. Not command D, control D. Did you get control D? Okay. Alright, great, thank you. So you've got an index.html with all the contents in there. So we'll try and clean this up a bit. Okay, so because they've got the JavaScript and the HTML on the same page, and it makes it look a lot more complicated. So let's just clean it up. Make a directory called JS, make their JS. Now Emacs or VI index.html, and then you can leave the comments because they wrote it after all, right? So go to the place where it's a script where it starts the program, the JavaScript program. Right. So this is a trick that I use all the time, and the code is. Cleaning up, so you can do this too. Right? Go to the place where it starts script. Now, you want to leave the Amazon JDK. This is an SDK. This is a toolkit which gives you the features like poly and things like that as objects in JavaScript. Right? So you leave that here, always loaded, like jQuery. It's a library. This is the bit we're interested in. This is our script, all this. So cut it from here and go to the matching script tag, close script tag. And cut the whole thing. Yeah, cut it. There you go. Okay. All right. Now, before it's in your clipboard, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Now insert a script tag after that. Go to the end of this line. And and I need a script tag. Just copy the whole thing maybe and put it back or something like that. If it's a script. Align it with the same as the same level as the SDK. Yeah, there you go. Script src equals js / I don't know what do you call it, poly.js?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you want to put your
It doesn't matter. It's okay. And close it and close the script tag. Okay. All right. Now, save this buffer, go to your poly.js and put what you put into that file. Oh, did you had it in your clipboard?
Yeah.
Now you exit the application. Did you put it in a file?
I didn't put it in a file.
Oh, you had it in your clipboard and you exit the application. Okay. Do you have a backup file, like a TODO file or something? We'll just copy it from your web page, right? Okay.
go to the home page.
Well, I have it pasted already, right? As the.
Oh, you already
pasted.
have it. Oh, you had.
I saw the whole thing pasted, so I can just get rid of
Alright,
it.
get rid of everything that's not the script. Even the script tag should go, yeah. Because it's a JS file. And then you have to re-indent everything, I think. No, leave the Amazon, yeah. Also the script tag can go. Get rid of the HTML. And that's, yeah, not an HTML, yeah, get rid of the HTML comments.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, I see, because it's an HTML comment here, but up there it's a, right, get rid of the HTML comment and leave the Amazon thing there, but turn it into a JavaScript comment. Because, turn that into a JavaScript comment. Yes.
Is it double slash or?
No, forward slash star.
Forward slash?
Yeah, go one line up and then turn it into a, yeah, forward slash star. And then get rid of there's a space before the slash, that's okay. Okay, alright. But usually there's 2 stars because for dots and things like that. But that's okay. Go all the way and close it there. Star, and then space before the star. Okay, so the other you need to un-indent these guys. And there's one more thing we need to do, I'll show you, but then we're ready to go. Oh, just 2 more things. This is a multiplied one. Alright, but I promise no more than 2 more things. We have to set up a user who has permission to use Poly. And then we have to set up the access
This
keys.
is meant to.
Can you scroll up?
And the index HTML we need to put on.
You know how to the command to indent?
Yeah, but I don't know how to do it in VI. Do you have Emacs? Okay. It doesn't matter. What you can do is go there.
What do you want to see?
Oh, we can do it in a script. We're going unedited. No. Leave it like this for now, okay? But put in a to-do saying re-indent, so you can remember to get back to it. You don't care, really. You're going to delete this directly. This is all okay? All right, region. Turn region into US West 2. I think that's where you're. Yeah. US West 2, I think, is California, and Poly is available. Okay, can someone check if Poly is available in US West 2? I think it's US West, Oregon for sure has it.
Yeah,
This US
West 2 is available.
Is available? Okay. All right. Now, let's not use cognito identity credentials because that's very flexible. You can say that people who access a site need to be authenticated via Facebook or OAuth or Google or something like that. It's one of the public authentication means. Cognito handles all that. Let's not mess with that. We'll just create our own user so that anonymous users can come to our website and they have access to Poly through our access keys. Now, I haven't figured out a good way in which you can completely bury the access keys, even though it's JavaScript. Because even if it's a Lambda, right? You can say, I can turn this into a JavaScript Lambda node and make my access keys part of the Lambda environment. So it's not in the part of the access, not in the source code of JavaScript, right? So that's possible. You can bury the access keys in the environment, but I don't know how that will prevent a determined hacker who basically sets a breakpoint in your JavaScript and says, print the environment, right? And then they can see it. So I don't know how you would absolutely protect that, even if it's a Lambda, unless you were saying you have to come through us through Cognito or our own logging service through a paid subscriber like Netflix, right? So you come to us and we've authenticated you, and then you can access our service as much as you want because you're paying for it anyway. So I think that's the only answer that I can think of.
You can do limited protection using cores.
So yeah,
It's not foolproof, but
it's not foolproof. Yeah, but I think Poly also is aware of that, and they have several measures. Like if it's more than 5 seconds, you got to re-request it. You can't do the same. You can't save a request and reuse it multiple times, and various things like that. And then you have to, in the process of verifying your identity, jump through hoops. It's really hard for someone to get your access keys if they're determined they can't be stopped, but they've tried to make their best to make it really hard.
What did you say about cores? What's that thing?
let's not get sidetracked into that. It's cross-origin resources, right? So let's, yeah, it's a quagmire, isn't it? Yes. Okay. All right. So let's go. Oh, you actually, what did you do? Manually, you did a backspace?
Yeah, no, it's just
Oh, you Googled it?
yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. So you got this function called speed text. Let's see. Text. Now, make this. Oh, you're actually getting it from your. You're going to. So here's the thing. I'll explain what this JavaScript does. Right. Now, in your HTML document, he's going to have a text ID box and a text entry box, and it's going to be tagged text entry, right? So every time the button is clicked,
I just realized I started screen.
oh, damn. Okay, all right. Someone's got to volunteer. Okay, because you did that, you have to do this on your own.
I can do the first 3 minutes, like on my own. That's fine.
You're going to do the first 2 minutes? Okay, start it now.
Yeah.
He's doing it now?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So he's gonna. If he doesn't post, if he doesn't do it on his own time, you're gonna do it like the other walkthrough you did, right? Before, right? Yeah, you don't have to feel guilty because you did Lambda and everything else, right? Nobody asked him to. So you should be thankful. So here's the thing. I was telling someone else today. Early in your programming career, when you're using other people's libraries and other people's code, you feel angry at them for doing things the wrong way, right? So you say, oh, they should have done this function, you feel angry. And just like Cloud, that you think, it's angry, you feel angry sometimes when you're a beginner, saying they should have done this and they wasted so much of my time. But we don't pause to think how much time we would have wasted if they weren't there, right? Because they're programmers like you at the end of the day, right? And then you see that they weren't under any obligation to make this. It's not like you pay $10,000 for an iPhone and the iPhone doesn't look good, you can complain, right? But most of the time you're using libraries that are free, people have made available out of the generosity of their heart, really, because they're not getting any money out of it. And then instead of saying it's a good job, I use it, if it's not, I won't use it, right? Instead, you say, if it's good, I use it. If it's not, I'm going to beat the hell out of you. That's not fair. So you should just be grateful. I think with more, people do that all the time. I used to be doing that, right? I used to feel angry every time I used a library, and I thought that it should have been done differently. I used to feel angry, and then I think, why the fuck am I angry? Because it was, they are generous and they gave it to me for use. They're not forcing me to use it. Nobody's forcing you to use this, right? Nobody's forcing you to use Google or Microsoft. And we use that and still complain. And so it's kind of stupid, I think. I don't know. But anyway, where were we going with all this? So anyway, so you're going to have to do the first. Yeah. Thank you. Because he did that voluntarily. Nobody asked him. So I can't complain. Nobody you seem very guilty, saying, oh, I let you guys down, and no, actually, no, thank you so much. All right, go for it.
Okay, so it's recording.
Oh, it is? Okay. Go for it. Oh, I was talking, right? Okay. All right. So yeah, what we're going to do is this text here. He's going to fill it in at runtime. He's going to grab it from the text area and he's going to put it in the speech parent and pass it. There's a couple of things we can do. We can change the voice. Use Matthew. This Joanna is also pretty nice, right? So Joanna's nice. There's a bunch of different voices you can choose, and you can Google it. Poly voices. You get a big list. For Hindi, I used Ravina or something like that. It sounds pretty authentic, actually. All right. Not that I'm an expert in Hindi. Okay. Sorry?
There's an option for Indian English, by the way. Do you know that?
Yeah, I know. That's Ravina. Yeah, I think that's Ravina. Because with Ravina, I think, is it Ravina? You can ask Ravina to speak a Hindi text, which you get from transcriber.
Okay.
Or you can ask it to speak English, right? Because it can do language ID from UTF codes. And I think it does that. I don't know, that's not there.
That's your.
But you can create one. Maybe you do that. Add these Cookie Monster voice.
My Waze app used to have Cookie Monsters that.
Hey, but do that and maybe, it gets like a billion hits, right? Okay, all right, so that she's gonna fill in, what is it, translate?
When you get to your destination.
There you go,
Let's have a-
we're filling it in. Okay, speech ranks, Polly, where are you getting I'm trying to see.
Oh, I have
English.
now.
We're gonna change all this, but we'll run with it for now, okay? Where are you getting this? Oh, there you go. Okay, Cognito, we're not gonna use Cognito. Instead, let's go to your console, Amazon console, create a user called polyuser, which you'll remember to delete later on today, because you're gonna generate access keys for this user that you're gonna bury in this program, which is gonna be exposed to the whole world. And so after he goes to sleep, someone could just get the access keys and keep synthesizing, tons and tons of speech, and you pay for it. But you'll be surprised how cheap it is, While he's doing this, one of you can actually look up how much it's going to cost you. I think Poly is per request, 15 seconds. I don't know, it's very cheap. All right, there you go. Go to IAM, create a user. Create a user called Poly Experiment or something like that. Yeah, make sure you know how to delete that, right? So say,
You just delete all the.
Okay, all right, only programmatic access. You don't need to give console access because that person is only going to ever issue these API calls, right? So when you create users for services like this, and you don't expect them to log into the console, don't give console access. It's always tempting to see what you've actually got rather than saying this is an endpoint. Why? This is the fundamental object-oriented programming is to hide things in a good way. You've got it? No, don't add it to a group. So just go to policies, attach policies in a pretty screen. Attach policies and give a poly, check poly, and give all poly access for now, right? We just want to make the thing. So here's the thing. I think one of the things that I found when doing it, and you get better at it with experience, I think. When you're fussing around, wiring things together in the cloud, just do it inside of Sandbox as root. Don't mess around with permissions before you have to. It's hard enough getting the logic and the wiring right without having to worry about if the permissions. Get everything working, and then start thinking about, okay, this is my final efficient architecture. Now I can see what's the minimal amount of information that flows through these pipes. That's all that I'm gonna. So I think that's the most efficient way to do it.
I'd ask you if I did not, says here an issue. If I didn't click, didn't check the box.
Too far.
We were just talking about that. Don't check the box with command line. If I didn't check it and I try to go command line,
You try to,
as long as you will give you an error if you don't check that box.
If you don't check the box, you'll get an error.
But it doesn't come up, okay. I can decipher it, okay.
Oh,
That's
I
basically
see.
my problem. It didn't say command line error, it said region not, wrong region or.
Oh, yeah, see, I've never tried that. So,
That might be my problem.
Ted is saying that if you did not allow for programmatic access and you try to do programmatic access from the command line, it does not say permission denied, it gives you something else.
It says access denied.
Oh, just access.
But it's not sure why. It says, well, maybe this region doesn't support it. This is very.
Oh no, but that's development. That I think that's part of the Unix philosophy.
So
If
basically.
you don't get the password right, don't get it.
Well, the password,
It's the same, right?
Everything was right. I don't check the box at command line.
Yeah, but at the same time, it is access denied, right? So you don't want to give any information out of it. Ideally, you want information. Yeah. So I think I would say that's the right thing to do. All right, so you done it? You got the access keys?
Yeah.
All right, get the access keys. They're right there. Actually, it's better. Just show it for now. Leave it there. Don't download the CSV. Right? Now go to your JavaScript file. Actually, before you go to the JS, I think open another tab. Go to Google and say AWS credentials using access key. I think it's just dot new AWS dot credentials access keys or something like that. Maybe we'll find the syntax, right? You never remember the syntax. Okay. JS, or just say, Google for AWS credentials JavaScript. Okay, yeah, click that. Click the SDK. All right, let's see. Do we have, where's the constructor? I want to look at the constructor. Does it have a constructor? Access key equals. Okay, all right. AWS credentials. Okay, all right, good. Good, and it has access key equals, and then I'm pretty sure it must have a secret access key equals. Okay, good. All right, so let's go back to your JavaScript. Yeah. All right, where you have that, you say new AWS credentials. Is that what it is? Is that the name of the constructor? We got to remember that.
Yes.
Not cognitive identity credentials. It's just AWS credentials, isn't it? And then the constructor will have to pass those two things. Yeah. Access key ID. I think it's. Yeah. What is the syntax for passing it in? Do you pass it in as a dictionary or just like that? It's JavaScript. What's that for? So, is this the way to do it? Yeah, I think it's just passing the access key ID, comma, the two strings, one after another. Yeah, not a dictionary. Okay, go. Yeah, there you go. I forget about session. All right, so let's go back. AWS.credentials. Yeah, go back to that other thing. Okay, all right. So give it your two access keys there, whatever you copied. That one, yeah. And then, yeah, I don't think you need to name the parameters. It's just a string. Can someone look this up for me? Is that the way to create credentials? AWS credentials? Is it the right syntax? But we'll try it anyway. All right, comma, and then the secret access key. Okay. All right, so you put there US West 2. All right, so that gives you the credentials. There's the speech parameters. 16K. One thing you need to be worried, keep in your mind is that only English, I believe, you can look it up. Only English supports 16K sampling of the speech waveform. I think the other languages are just 8K waveforms. And so you just add the number of samples.
That same page you have for the class, if you scroll down, there's example. There's example, in case you want to know.
I'm sorry, what is it?
That same page that you have the class, AWS.credentials, where you will try
Oh, you mean the web page? The web page?
No, that's just the docs.
I'm sorry.
You were looking for examples, right? How to create. You can if you scroll down, there are more examples.
I see. Oh, wait, yes, I'm so sorry.
Yeah,
it's a dictionary. It's a dictionary.
Yeah.
It's a dictionary.
Yeah.
Okay. But then, maybe is it possible to overload constructors like that? In JavaScript, have either a dictionary call or I don't know. Let's try it our way first. But keep this open. Thank you so much. Keep this open, right? If it doesn't work for us, we only use this call. Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
This is a powerful thing.
Yeah. All right, so go back to your JS. I think we're ready to go, right? Let's go back to your index.html. So go back, yeah. So is this saved? Save Matthew, all right, you got the text. You're gonna, all right. Okay, save it. Now open space dot. Yeah. So that will open the current directory in your Finder, right? Now index.html is the file that. Why is poly.js not in your JS directory? Isn't that where you included it from?
Yeah, I thought it was actually.
You just drag it in there. Okay, there. Yeah, all right. So index.html is the one that we want to look at. You can actually open that in Safari. Just double click that, open that in Safari. Okay, all right. So this is the index.html view source here, or you can, VI or Emacs or whatever it is, index.html. So we can change that. Open up a console window here with your index.html. We'll actually restyle it. Open up your terminal.
Or open a new terminal window?
Yeah, open a terminal. For a sec, yeah.
In Chrome or?
No, to your terminal. You have a terminal, right?
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, get a smaller version of that and place it side by side next to that Chrome window. There you go, okay. And then we can increase the size of the font. And you can reduce the width of this guy. Okay, yeah, that's fine too. Because I thought we were going to just trying to. Okay, all right, so you can, it's a CD to poly, a CD to whatever it is, desktop poly. Tilde slash desktop slash poly. Okay, that's where we are. So you can vi index.html. Okay. All right. So this is what. This is this page here. You can change things here. You can make that box bigger if you want, but you can basically type something in there. Type in, change here, triple click and change it to hello CS55. I hope you can hear me or something like that. You know, type in whatever you want. All right, so and now let's try and change this a bit more, okay? So here's what we can do. Go back to your JavaScript. Go back to your JavaScript, and now you see what happens is that it gets your speech, sends it to the other side, and receives an MP3, and receives the MP3 and writes it to a file, and then it gives you a button to play it, right? So that's all it is, roundabout. You want to know how to capture the microphone?
No.
Right.
Actually, is there any way, probably for a moment, to summarize what exactly you took from the poly.html? What exactly the keys that you need to have? And
yes.
And what changes you're making in the poly.html?
Sure, I can do that. Yeah, and you can tell me, what's the sound? Where's the sound from? Is it from your computer? Not my phone, right?
No. Sorry.
Yeah, and if I'm not answering your questions, just, sure, you know.
Thank you.
Is that okay? Do you have enough space on your, is it recording?
Yes.
Joanne.
Okay. Anyways, is that okay if I can just answer?
Yeah.
You can pause it if you want, but that's okay. So anyway,
This
actually leave it on because maybe this question is relevant to
Yeah,
you.
where do we get the keys actually? Can you show again where we got the keys?
Okay, so they want to see how you got the keys, the access keys. All right. So here's what he's doing. So he's going to make a call to Poly, and in order to make a call to Poly programmatically, because it's a billable service, it's not free, right? Hey guys, you got to put, you're really close to the microphone, because that will, and then the online students will complain. No, they don't complain. It's a very nice question. Okay. Right? So.
Yeah, I got it. So the user add user.
Yeah, it's a billable service, right? It's not free. Therefore, if you're going to make it available to random people to use, they got to be accountable to someone, right? They got to say, yeah, I'm using it. When you're providing it to them, you're implicitly saying that you use it, but I will pay. That's basically what you're saying. If you put it up on a public website, you're using anyone to use it. You're allowing anyone to use it, but you're saying I'll pay for it, right? Which means that your access keys have got to be buried inside of the app somewhere. Because it's not going to work for just some no access key at all. It's not a free service. Because resources are consumed. Poly is actually consuming machine resources to stitch your MP3 together. Yes? So it cannot be offered for free. I mean, they can give you a taster for free, but it cannot be offered free, right? So right now we're in the free tier, it's free. But if you look at how much it actually costs you, you can look in Google AWS Poly pricing. It's very, very, 15 seconds costs, I don't know. You get an awful lot of Poly for free.
So again, the idea of poly dot type, this poly is converting audio text.
It is converting text to audio. Text to audio. It is going to speak what you type.
I see.
And if not what you type, it'll speak whatever you give it to speak. So the goal is that you will use in your ELIZA program, you'll have strings to respond to the user, right? Instead of responding in a window, you can just give it to Polly and have it split the response in ELIZA. That's the goal.
Since Polly is
That's what we're going to do now. We're going to give it anything that you can play.
costs money when you click it to play. So why don't we, what is the output from Polly? Is it also an MP3?
It's an MP3.
So if it's hello CS50 whatever, store that in your own hash whatever. So that is free for now. So every time you need hello, you just grab the free hello.
Yeah, that's every time you need the exact same word, you would use that.
No, but yeah, but what I mean is don't evoke Polly again since we are
Yeah, but
programming.
you're right, but you can only do that if you want to be saying exactly the same thing over and over
Exactly,
again.
exactly.
Right? It doesn't help you. What you really want is to be able to synthesize arbitrary speech. Right? You have, you have a newspaper, when you want to listen to newspaper.
But that's it. Yeah, that's all. But that's it.
Yeah.
Because you are entering a text from the US Constitution. There are a lot of words that are repeated. So
Yeah,
what's
that's okay, but why use Polly? If you have something like the US Constitution, I would get someone like Whoopi Goldberg or Oprah Winfrey or someone to read it. That's a much better alternative to use Polly for than to use Polly for that, right? So you would only use Polly for things like automatic transcription, for verbal transcription
On the go.
On the text. Yeah, like call center. Call center. You can have a bot generate your call center response, and then your Polly could speak it.
What I'm trying to think is that how can we monetize? Because if our application.
I don't know how you can monetize. I'm just showing you how to build with it, right? So I mean, you can figure out a million ways to monetize it. Yeah, but I'm not an expert in that. Okay, so are we good to go? Are you good to go now? You get the access keys and we just bury the access keys in the JavaScript. And unfortunately, if you view source, you can actually see the access keys. So the thing that we have to remember is that here, now go back to your in your IAM, go back to the place where you have a list of users, and go to the security credentials. I'm going to show you this thing very quickly. So I search this IAM. There you go, first one, IAM. Go to your list of users. Okay, now you got this Polly user, right? Now click on Polly, Okay, now click on security credentials. Okay, all right. Now you can set up a user. This Polly is very simple because it only has Polly. But eventually you're going to have an ELIZA user who would need permissions for Polly, for comprehend, for translate, and for transcribe, for AI services, for heavy-duty AI services, right? And so you're going to have to give a bunch of permissions to this user. ELIZA, in this Polly, only has one permission. Now, if you're going to have a demo of that on the hackathon day, or to anyone really, to a VC or someone, you want to enable the permissions. And then later on, you don't want to have the permission, because when you're sleeping, someone could access your access keys from the JavaScript. And they could manufacture tons and tons of requests from a call center in Vietnam. Right? You'd be paying. And by the time you wake up in the morning, you may have a bill. So you don't want to leave your access keys dangling, especially when you've given full access, right? So easy way to do it is just before your demo, just go and make this guy active. And immediately after your demo, you don't have to change anything. Because setting up these permissions, the individual permissions is a pain, right? Making sure, just set it all up the way you want and make active, and when you're done with the demo, make inactive. So that even if someone hacks into your system and keeps issuing lots and lots of requests, they can only do it for the 1 hour or 2 hours that you could have been online. That's not a huge hit for your wallet. Does that make sense? Okay, so that I think is a good idea. All right, so I just wanted to show you where this is because it took me yeah. All right, let's go back to your index.html. What we'll do is we'll make some changes to your index into your JavaScript. This is JavaScript. By the way, there is something very similar to this for translate. You can look for Amazon Translate service, right? HTML, translate.html or something like that. You'll find something very similar. Send in a text, and here you're getting an MP3 back. There you'll get another text string back. It's even simpler, right?
Yeah.
Even simpler. So, and then it's a UTF, because that text string you can actually inject into HTML. And if it's in Korean or Chinese, it will actually show Korean or Chinese.
right? So you can get an English string, and without using transcribe, you can basically say translate it into Korean and have it appear in Korean. And they can type a response in Korean. You can take that and have it appear on your screen in English.
Translate.
Yeah, almost in real time. So you can have two people talking to each other through an app. This person is talking in Korean and listening and not hearing. Okay, leave poly and transcribe out of it, right? Just text using only transcribe. You have one person who's basically reading Korean and typing Korean. The other side is reading English and typing English. It's like John Searle's Chinese room experiment. So there is that person thinks that he or she is talking with another person in Korean. This person thinks he or she is talking with another person in English. But neither of them can speak each other's language. It's just that Amazon. So that's a nice little app to do, right? You can do that now because it's just one service. You don't even have to use Poly there. But with Poly, what you can do is make that instead of give them Korean to read, you can give them Korean to listen to. Right? And then this side is, and then you can have, and really cool. There is a bunch of websites where you can get the animated GIFs of famous characters like Trump and Mona Lisa, and animated GIFs with the lips moving and the eyebrows moving. But you have programmatic control over the frames when you can make these animations happen in GIF. So they have JavaScript hooks into these GIFs. So you can drag one of those GIFs and use that JavaScript library with your speech file. And when your speech file is playing, Mona Lisa will be speaking with her lips. Right? So that's kind of cool, right? It's very simple and straightforward to do. It's just like, those are things that you can do during the hackathon. It'll be a really cool demo, right? We record that and we post that on YouTube. Then next time, Teresa will say, "Oh my God, I got like 10 sections full. Everybody wants to try and do this thing." That's kind of cool. Because it's kind of cool, right? Because you'll actually see no text at all. It's two figures talking. And then they can't, they're not mutually intelligible. They can't talk to each other face to face, but they can talk because of this thing that they have. Hey, I'm sorry. Okay, so what we want to do here is we'll take one step in that direction and then we'll just translate, okay? I'm so sorry, that's it. Okay, just increase the size of this window so that we don't have wraparound. Just okay, all right. Okay, all right, so let's try and do something. Here what we have is that we have, we're going to simplify this HTML. Okay, so here's what we'll do. All right, let's get rid of the controls altogether. And let's get rid of the controls. Get rid of that. And we have and then we need a button. All right, so let's, no, we need the, where's the text entry? We need the input. We need to keep the input.
Okay, so.
Yeah. Maybe, this is a time when someone who is CSS, HTML, SI with it should come and help, but that's okay, I'll talk through this if nobody volunteers. We get rid of, you got a button? Speak text, synthesize. Like, call it something other than synthesize. It sounds so, I don't know, robotic. Yeah? Let's be more human here. Yeah. Say something. Or say it. Say it, man. Say it. No, we're going to use Joanna. Say it. I just say it. Okay. Say it. Okay, and then let's change the input, autofocus size 23. Let's just actually change that into a text area, okay? So you've got more things to type in, and you can copy and paste entire documents if you want, okay? So change that into, from the input tag, change it into text area tab. Text area tab. And then, give it an ID. Oh, ID is text entry, that's fine. Value, get rid of the value from there. Yeah, get rid of that and put it and say placeholder equals, enter your placeholder
equals, enter your text here. Or don't say, what do you want? What do you want? Say, what do you want? Let's just be more, informal, because you say it, right? And then obviously we don't want this paragraph that says enter the text above and quick synthesize. Let's get rid of that. Yeah. Okay. What do you want? That's a placeholder. The ID is text entry, and you got a button right under that text box. Okay. So you need to close the text area tag. So get to the end here. Yeah, and space slash. Oh, you can close it like that? I didn't know. Okay. All right. Can you close it like that? A shorthand like that in HTML? I don't know. Is there an HTML? Let's see.
Yeah, you can.
Okay, let's see. Okay. All right. Is it okay? All right. Good. Now let's get rid of audio playback controls. And then that too. Source ID equals. Get rid of that, and in the audio element also get rid of that entire. No. We need the script. Just get the line that says audio. Okay. All right. Great. Now say what do you want? Okay. So now what we have, change the title. Now it doesn't have to be AWS SDK. So just say save. So the title could just be save. We're gonna have some fun styling it. Okay. Let's do a little bit of CSS. Okay. That's why I wanted a separate window here so we can change it and then refresh and see the change immediately. Okay, great. Now, load your JavaScript, because in your JavaScript, speed text is going to be called when the button is pressed. But before you do that, make the window half size and have the HTML, the window, the browser on the other side. Okay, there you go. And then, excellent. All right, now, have the browser, your page, that index.html page. Where's that on the browser? Poly.html, there you go. Is that the one? No, where is your HTML page? There it is, okay. And decrease the width of this so that you can have them side by side. Decrease the width a little bit, not so much. Okay, now refresh that. The styling should be gone because we got rid of the style, right? So refresh this page. Okay, the styling is all gone. That's fine. Okay, now let's go here and style it. So go to your index.html. And now we want to include where's your index? Is this your index.html? Okay, all right, let's include a CSS file here. So go in your head here. Okay, so what we want is to insert a CSS file. I think style text style. Is src equals, hey, someone says, Hitesh, you gotta help me out here. Okay, this is right. Src equals, so we're gonna create a CSS file. What is it? Poly.css. Poly.css. CSS/poly.css, something like that. Okay. .css. And what else do you type?
I'm checking.
I think link href equals. I think it's link href equals. So yeah, I think link href. So open another tab and go to a window and say Google Fonts for a sec. Google Fonts. Google Font. Did we do this once before? Google Fonts. Pick an interesting font. Google Font. Yeah, it's fine. Okay, just pick an interesting font, and it'll also tell us the syntax for the right syntax for the font. Okay, let's pick a nice little font here. How about this? This looks good. Eon. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. How about this one? You want to do this? Yeah. Okay. All right. So just add it to your cart. Okay, now here, click on family selected. Okay, we just need to copy this into your thing. So copy that thing. Copy, and then we just need to use this in our file. We'll keep this open. Go back to your HTML document, and go to the top and head and paste this where it's just copied. No, get rid of the entire line. For now. Yeah, paste that. Paste what you just got. That's the line we need, okay? So now, copy that entire line and put it on the next page. Paste it one more time. Okay, indent it properly. Increase the size of the width of this window. I don't know. You have to stop it right. Okay, great. Now change the href to CSS/poly.css. href equals. You got all that. Yeah, change that to
starting at HTTPS. Oh, I see. You want to do the fancy thing with friends. No, not so fancy. No. All right, okay. So CSS line. Well, you could have a of course, that's fine. All right, so that's fine. So we've got the style sheet. Now, and get rid of the next line. This style line. We don't need that. Okay, clean it up a bit. Okay. That one, yeah, move that one down. There we go. Add. Okay. All right. Excellent. Thanks. All right. Let's create CSS poly.css now. And so the page starts looking nicer. And then after we've got that looking nicer, the button is already wired up. What we'll do is in poly, in the callback, when we have the MP3 delivered to us, instead of saving it in an MP3 file, we'll just create an audio object and play it directly. So as soon as you press the button, it's going to play what it's going to say, rather than create an MP3 and wait for you to hit it. So we'll just